Good evening, everyone. All right. Got a short little video for y'all today. It shouldn't be too long. It's a good little consultation request that I thought would be a good one to knock out before I head to Maui for the weekend. I'm going to go camping. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be a debrief video after this. Uh, expect that out at some point next week. In other news, the government shutdown has ended, so yay. Good news on that, at least on my end. So I got someone writing to me, says, "Hey Bull, I'm looking at switching to an HSA for next year's healthcare plan. Should I do it? And if so, should I max it out? My company offers a $600 match if I elect to put in money into this HSA. The max contribution for him is $3,800, which is the IRS maximum for 2025. I believe for 2026 it is going to an even 4 grand. Don't quote me on that. But it should be somewhere around that $4,000 ballpark, either a little above or a little below. My answer to your question, put simply, is yes, you should do that. I think HSAs are, in general, a very wise move for most people. There are some reasons why you wouldn't, and I will get into that. But let's rewind a moment and explain what an HSA is first. If you don't live in the United States, this is a largely irrelevant video to you. However, if you do, what it really boils down to is an HSA is something called a health savings account. A health savings account basically works by being triple tax advantaged. In other words, if you contribute money to your HSA, you don't pay taxes on it. That money is exempt the same way a 401k contribution is exempt, up to the IRS maximum, which we've already discussed. The second advantage is that that money can be withdrawn without a tax penalty, provided it is spent on what is called qualified medical expenses. This can range from anything, between a broken leg, pharmaceuticals, or a prescription, or in my instance, I'm going to use some to get laser eye surgery at the end of the year. The third tax advantage, and perhaps the most valuable one I have come up with, is that if you remain healthy, you save all that money up. Well, you don't want to use it for non-medical expenses, and you don't. If you get to the Medicare eligibility age, all of a sudden, that effectively becomes a retirement account you can then tap uh, without paying any tax penalty. So, in effect, if you are healthy, you are effectively getting an additional traditional IRA you can put money into. And then, God forbid, if you ever need it for healthcare expenses, you can withdraw it without paying tax, which is useful. So, in short, the answer is yes. I recommend getting an HSA. And it sounds like this is currently a deal that's being worked on with some of the healthcare proposals surrounding the reopening of the government that the Senate, I believe, has been talking about. But the idea is that the United States would like to expand HSAs from the small range of healthcare plans it is eligible for, which are mostly high deductible plans. A high deductible healthcare plan is basically your insurance really only covers catastrophes, and you're expected to foot the bill for everything else medical, which is what plan I have, honestly. Um, to a slightly wider range of plans, I think this is a pretty good idea in general. I think HSAs are right. The U.S. healthcare system is, I don't even think broken is a good way to put it anymore. It's really messed up, but right, the HSA is probably the best of a bad situation here. So, in general, I think HSAs are a really good idea, especially if your company is willing to match what you're putting in up to $600. That's $600 free. And if you're in the middle class tax bracket, which I believe is going to be around 22%, if you multiply your maximum contribution of 3,800 by that amount, you are getting $836 in tax savings. That's pretty good. So based on that alone, I would say, yeah, absolutely go for the HSA. I would consider maxing it out and then do the same next year. The only reasons I would say to maybe stay away from an HSA is if the only plans, there's a mosquito in here and I want to freaking kill it, is if the plans that are listed, you know you are going to have recurring and predictable medical expenses that would justify not using a high deductible program. Really hard for me to give cut and dried advice, especially because healthcare markets vary from employer to employer, from state to state. And as such, there's a limit as to what I can give for specifics. If you have a specific scenario you would like me to give advice on, by all means, let me know. Write to me at askbullmuscle@gmail.com. That's really all I had for this one. In general, my opinions are, yeah, I would recommend using an HSA if a company is incentivizing you to pick a program with HSA eligibility. Would recommend that. In general, right? So this is health insurance we're talking about. Your health care, your cheapest and best health care is going to be barbells, a good night's sleep, and good exercise. Those three things aren't going to cure everything. However, they will remove a host of preventable diseases. And removing those hosts of preventable diseases will, if everyone were to do it, it would decrease total demand on the healthcare system, which should in turn lower prices, at least according to a market system. The US healthcare system is anything but a free market. It's really poorly run, and I have no love for the health insurance companies who really exist as a legal monopoly to extract profit from the American citizen. So I'm not going to really dive into the politics of healthcare here. That's not the scope of this video. The scope of this video is within the current circumstances, within what you can control, right? That's what we do on this channel. We focus on that which we can control. Is an HSA a good option? I would say the answer is yes, especially for you, especially for your circumstances. You're young, you're fairly healthy. You have had some medical expenses in the past, but none of them are what I would call predictable. So it's like anything else, right? If you, that's the whole game of insurance. You have to guess risk. If you know you are a high risk individual, right? Let's say you are a person who crashes their car often. Having a very comprehensive auto insurance policy probably benefits you more. Likewise, if you are a chronically sick person, having a more comprehensive health insurance program probably benefits you more. But in this instance, since you're relatively young, you're in your 20s and you're pretty healthy, no, I would say you could probably stand to handle most of that yourself and reap some tax rewards with an HSA. That's all I had for y'all. If you've got any other questions, by all means, ask me. Feel free to send me whatever, really. Diet plans, fitness, personal finance questions like this one, philosophy, lifestyle advice, you name it. After all, there aren't that many other nuclear engineer runway models who are financially independent out there. Much love, y'all. As always, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your actions. Those actions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos to be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. Askbullmuscle@gmail.com. Oh, and by the way, my Aggies are 9-0. Hell yeah. First time in my life I've ever seen Texas A&M football this good. It's a nice feeling. Beat the hell out of South Carolina. No, I didn't make a bet with Dodger this year.